Sickle Cell Awareness Day. I'm right here. Yeah. The International Awareness Day is observed annually with, of course, a very special goal for this purpose. Today, we will be talking to two people. Both of you will talk, Shibi. Okay, so we'll be talking to both of them. If we make them introduce themselves one after the other, then that'll be just nice. Okay, so good morning, bro.
Morning, sir.
It's good to have you here.
Good morning, Lagos.
Yeah, good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, Nigeria.
So tell me, we know it's Awareness Day tomorrow.
Yes.
So tell me, what is the theme for the Sickle Cell Awareness this year?
Maybe you should start by telling us what it is.
Okay, so my name is Yomi Oyelami. I am from Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative. And I have with me today one of our partners on this project, Donate NG platform, that has been supporting us in raising funds for all of our activities. And so, World Sickle Cell Day was officially given to us by the United Nations, I think sometimes around 2008. So that's the day given to the sickle cell community globally to create awareness about what they have seen as a foremost genetic disease. For us in Nigeria, we have well over 4 million people living with that condition, and so it's something that we cannot but keep talking about every year. And so all the activities in the month of June, and of course in September, which is World Sickle Cell Awareness Month, we use it to create awareness and to do campaigns around sickle cell. So that's what we do.
Okay, so you do this all the time or just when the World Sickle Cell Day is around the corner?
We do this all the time. But because it's also World Sickle Cell Day, we can have concerted efforts around sickle cell awareness. So that's why we have a lot more noise, a lot more attention around this period. I'm sure today, tomorrow, all through next week, we will have a lot more people talk about sickle cell because of it's a concerted effort around this period.
So this year we're shining the light on sickle cell.
Yes, of course, that's what we say. We shine the light on sickle cell. For now, of course, we have the year, we have the day declared by the United Nations, but we don't yet have official themes per year. So every year that we come out, we shine the light on sickle cell and we tell a lot more people about what sickle cell is about. So that's what we are doing this year.
So what's the special program for this awareness this year?
All right, so every year we actually have what we call the Red Umbrella Walk. Red Umbrella Walk is organized by the Coalition of Sickle Cell NGOs in Nigeria. So we have a group for people living, for NGOs that work in the sickle cell space. So this year in Lagos, in Abuja, and in Delta State, we are going to be walking on the streets. So today, while we are in the studio, a lot of our people are on the streets in Oshodi, to be precise, here in Lagos, to walk and to raise awareness. You see everybody wearing red, you see everybody carrying a red umbrella. So what we are doing is to use that opportunity to create awareness. We want to go right there on the streets and meet people one-to-one, and we talk to them about sickle cell.
Okay, let me speak a little with your partner.
Yes.
You said they are support NG?
Donate NG.
Donate NG. Okay, Donate NG. That's not your name. Introduce yourself, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ikiolu Adoromo. I work with Donate NG. We are an online crowdfunding platform that creates a space for people, individuals, and charities to crowdfund for charitable causes.
So you guys are particularly doing support for the sickle cell
Yes.
cause?
Yes, as part of our own way of making impact, we an initiative which we run yearly. And that initiative, we call it OneK for sickle. That is figure 1, letter K, figure 4, OneK for sickle. The initiative is to encourage Nigerians and people all over to donate at least 1,000 naira to the world, to charities that are supporting and championing the sickle cell advocacy, and to help them in reaching more people. Because over the years, as we have partnered with SAMI and some other charities, we have seen that the impact has been great, and we want to see a situation where we're able to do more and reach more.
Oh, this is good. So, we move from here to Oshodi today.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about sickle cell itself.
All right.
You know, because a lot of people are still wondering, so how, I know you're not a doctor,
Okay.
but a lot of people are still wondering how we get to have, you know, the SS sickle cell people. How would, some people don't even know what it is. How does it come to be? You have an idea?
All right, fantastic. And so that's why we are here. That's why we do what we call sickle cell awareness. I'm not a doctor, but I live with sickle cell myself, and I work in the sickle cell community. So working with an organization like SAMI helps me to know a lot more about these things. So how do we come about sickle cell? Now, sickle cell is a genotype, one of the many genotypes that we have that codes for our red blood cells. Now, for every person that you see, there is what we call genotypes. So those genotypes carry genetic information. So every part of our body, our eyes, our skin, every part of our body has genes that carries information about those parts of the body. So for the blood, there is a part called the red blood cell. That red blood cell is what carries oxygen around our body. So that red blood cell also carries its own gene. So that gene is what we call the genotype. So for everybody, there's a genotype attached to your red blood cell. Now for what we call the usual red blood cell, we have what we call the genotype AA. The genotype AA. So that genotype AA makes sure that your red blood cell is round. And when something is round, like a football, for example, it's easy for it to move around the body. Now, for people who have what we call genotype AS, these people, they don't live with sickle cell. In fact, their red blood cell is also round with a mix of probably like sickle cells, but they don't live with sickle cell, meaning that they will not experience, virtually most of the times, they will not experience any complications that relate with sickle cell. But the but is that they can transfer that genotype to the next generation.
That is the S part of it.
That is the S part of it.
Okay.
Yes. So we now have other genotypes like genotype SS and genotype SC. Because I know that in this part of the world, a lot more people think about genotype SS as only sickle cell. No, even genotype SC and even other forms, like we have S, beta thalassemia and all that, any other connection of S that is not attached to A, we still see it as sickle cell. So genotypes like genotype SS, genotype SC are also sickle cell.
Yeah, but what really is the difference between the SS and the SC?
So what's the difference between SS and SC is just the genetic information. It means that somebody who has SS must have come from parents who have both AS and AS.
Okay.
That's
a possibility.
Yes, that's a
SS.
possibility for SS.
Yes.
For somebody who is SC, it means that it must have come from a parent who has probably AS and SC.
Okay, but you know that this SC thing is new. A lot of people don't know anything about it. Is it that it just occurred or it has always been but has been
Interestingly,
ignored?
SC is not new. It's actually with us.
It's always been.
It's always been. It's just that probably we don't have enlightenment around it.
Exactly.
Now, there are some tests that give even clearer information about this test, about this red blood cell. Now, if they do what we call the HPLC, HPLC is high performance liquid chromatography. If you go to any major laboratory, tell them you want to do an hemoglobin profiling test. Hemoglobin profiling test. That test will break down all the components of gene in your blood. And it will surprise you that even in your blood, even as somebody living with sickle cell like as I am, some parts of my blood are still A.
Okay.
But the percentage is very low.
Okay.
So that is why the predominance is SS. So that is why we talk about this thing. So genotype, so the common genotype that we have in this part of the world, in West Africa, genotype AA, genotype AS, genotype CC, genotype SC, genotype SS, genotype like that. So those are the common genotypes that we have in this part of the world for us in Nigeria, Ghana, and Sierra Leone, West Africa.
If I ask you
Yes,
to
sir.
give an advice to people on this auspicious occasion, what would it be as it concerns sickle cell?
My advice will be go and get tested. Know your genotype. That's the first thing. If you don't know your genotype, you don't know what to expect.
So there's always a treatment for all of this.
Now, sickle cell, as it stands, we can manage it. There is also a cure for sickle cell, bone marrow transplant, that's the name, or stem cell transplant. But these ones are surgical in nature. And there is something that we have to look for, a match. Because these things deal with the internal body. So they have to look for someone in your family who has similar components like yours to be able to conduct to be able to conduct such a transplant. So but for people like us who are older, it might be harder to do something like that. So for people like us, what we advocate is management, and we can actually manage it properly. The oldest person who passed about 2 years ago, Mama Laguda, died at 94, meaning that we can actually live long. There's no
I remember a friend of mine who had a party and said that we all had to sign because he can go anytime. He's still very much around and strong.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just about management. You have said that, really.
I must thank you both for coming this morning. I didn't hear much of the voice of my dear sister from Donate NG.
So how much have you gotten today?
Oh, you mean how much have they donated today?
Part of why we're here to call on Nigerians. We know that we are kind-hearted people and we're
So why did you
encouraging
donate?
Yes, please kindly log on to www.donate-ng/1K for www.donate-ng.com/1K for sickle. That's figure 1, letter K, figure 4, 1K for sickle, and then you can click on any of the charities, make your donations. You can also be a recurring donor because beyond the World Sickle Cell Day, sickle cell charities are always having month-to-month clinics, managing prices and all of that. So you can also be a recurring donor. Donate on a monthly basis to these charities.
Where are you marching to? So that anybody who meets you on the way can.
So we are marching all the way in Oshodi. You see us on the street in Oshodi today with full ground, well.
Anything to do with that building opposite Ruth?
No, SCFN is also a partner organization. So the Red Umbrella Walk is like I said, is a coalition of sickle cell NGO team. So they are also part of it. SAMI, which I represent, is also part of it, and other NGOs like that.
All right, many thanks to SAMI and to Donate NG, and of course to both of you. Thank you for being here this morning. We appreciate what you're doing. Please keep doing what you're doing. It will keep helping the world and help us to do better than we have ever done. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Nigerians.
Indeed. Nigerians have been very, very, very supportive people. And people from all other parts of the world always say that.
Oh yes, Nigerians are supportive. Honestly, they are. Wherever you meet them, and they are everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.